So I, at the age of 35, have decided to start a YouTube channel regarding my adventure through learning how to hunt. I say learning because I've only had 3 seasons under my belt since the age of 31. I hunted for 2 years out in southern Alberta, moved back to southern Ontario a year ago, 2 years ago, sorry. Took a year off to gather my bearings and just finished my first season in Ontario. I've only ever shot 1 deer, and that's in southern Alberta. I didn't really grow up with hunting and camping and any of that in my life. So at 31 years old, it was, and it still is, a new, kind of a scary thing for me. I'm not that educated around it quite yet. I don't exactly have a whole bunch of family members close by that are into it, that can share this knowledge with me. I know a few of my siblings have their hunting license, but just have it to have it, I guess. It's never really used, we'll say. So the reason I got into hunting is because I was told it's only as expensive as you make it. And once the initial investment of buying your base equipment has been done, after that, it's licenses and fuel. That's the biggest expense. So I've spent less than $1,000 on a crossbow, hunting blind, a couple deer calls, and a shotgun. And I'm able to hunt deer, turkey, a bunch of small game, so on and so forth. I don't have anything for big game because of, like I said, southern Ontario. There's not really any reach for that here. And there's no big moose or bear where I live. I don't know anyone 7 hours away that would be willing to let me hunt on their land, which is actually what the first thing I want to talk about is getting land permission. That is extremely difficult to do in this area. There's everyone else and their cousin and their neighbor and so on and so forth is all already hunting the land you want to get into. I've been very lucky, and I've got 2 properties I can hunt on. And I say properties, but it's more like tree lines. Not even the actual bush, not even the actual field. It's in the tree line. And if it runs into the field, I have permission to do that. To go get the animal. That's about it. I am going to go knock on some more doors and see what I can do to get more hunting permission. More land permission. So one of the first things I recommend you should do is download iHunter, Ontario, Alberta, whatever it is. I'm sure they make one, but it's iHunter. In my case, iHunter, Ontario. I have the other one for Alberta as well. I paid $5.50 for each of the apps. The nice thing about the Alberta app is I can see who owns the land, get in contact with that owner directly, and never actually have to leave my house. I understand it looks way better if I pull up and it's in the driveway. We can actually chat, put a face to a name, so on and so forth. The Ontario app doesn't have that, and that's the one thing that I don't like about the Ontario app. But I didn't create it. I don't really understand how all that stuff works. It is what it is. So that's probably going to be the biggest struggle, is getting your land permission, because unless you own the land, you have to go knock on doors and get turned down many times over before someone will actually give you permission to do something and go hunt. Once that's established, then you start scouting or applying for tags, which is actually something I want to cover here in the next couple of weeks. It's middle of February 2023, and tag applications start in March. So I'll try and walk you guys through that, at least my experience of it, and kind of show you how it all happens. Results don't show up until about June, I believe. And you kind of hope for the best. Everyone can get a buck tag. Not everyone sees one. To get a doe tag, I believe you have to apply for it, and there's a fee for it. I think it's like $5, and you don't always get it. Some guys do, some guys don't. I, on my first year, did not. So I have only spent about $1,000 or so, probably less, on all my equipment. And that's actually what I enjoy about this, is it's, as you get to be more of an experienced hunter, you can go, oh hey, you know what, I want this, I want that. I mean, yeah, I may not need it, but I definitely want it. And then eventually it turns into, well, I need it because I'm stepping up my game, and so on and so forth. This time of year, late winter, early spring, you're not just, you know, subject to a computer and going counting down the days and filling out tags. You can actually get out and scout and take mental notes of where stuff was, or, you know, log it all in an app, or make yourself some notes on your phone and go from there. The two spots that I have, I know there's lots of scat in the area, and there's footprints everywhere. The entire 3 months that I had this past season of 2022, I only saw one buck. And I made the amateur mistake of not having my crossbow in the ready position, with it being, you know, cocked and everything else. Little bugger was 12, 15 feet away from me. Like I said, wasn't cocked, so I had to cock up my bow ever so slowly, ever so quietly. He was looking in my direction. I had my eyes locked on him. As soon as he heard that click, took off like a rocket. And that's the only buck I saw all season. So learn from that one. Be in a ready position as soon as your blind is open and set, and you're in your spot. Be ready for absolutely anything. And they are sneaky, quiet little creatures. There was a doe behind me. No idea she was even there, until I finally saw something out of the corner of my eye, and still didn't even hear her walking. So all of a sudden I got my head on a swivel, and I'm paying attention to everything, and all of a sudden got a lot more exciting in a very little time, and then that, you know, kind of dies off. But you gotta keep at it. So my son wants to go rabbit hunting as well. I do have permission to do that. He's 11 years old, and he did rabbit hunting out west too, and he wants to, you know, do that here as well. I don't see as many rabbits out here as I did out west. I would like to get into turkey hunting, and I'll be probably buying my first year small game tag this year and see how that goes. The spot that I have is in the WMU of 94. I think it's 94A or B, I'm not quite sure. And that covers quite a bit of ground. So, you know, on a map, I got tons of space, tons of options. However, I need permission first. So the future will only get better, I hope, and I'll be able to get more permission as time goes on, and guys talk to guys and go, oh yeah, this guy's good, he respects the land, which is something you should do regardless of whether you own it or you're just hunting on it, right? Don't shoot in the direction of any houses or potential hunters. And I actually met someone, we share a spot, and she did tell me that there's a 10-point buck in the tree line that I'm in. So I just gotta wait for him to come across my path and maybe say hi to him real fast, you know what I mean? So not really sure how often I'll be posting. I think as I have stuff to say, as I'm coming up with stuff, I will be posting videos and just showing you guys kind of step by step in a quick, rough and dirty kind of way. This is how you do it. This is how you get started. I had someone out west who showed me all kinds of stuff and said, if you're not comfortable walking around with a rifle on your back and never seeing a single deer, don't get into hunting. I enjoy hiking. I enjoy shooting. Why not? Let's do both, and let's see if we can get some meat out of the deal. So got into it because of that, and had a good time. And it's a lot flatter out here. Out west, it's a lot more walk and stalk. There's more ground to cover. We're not as densely populated out there, so you can walk around and see a lot more, and you're able to shoot something like a 308, 270, and you definitely have a lot more options. Downfall to out west is it gets windy. Don't really have that here. It's windy today, so if you guys can't hear me, I apologize. However, in Southern Ontario, you're basically 90% bow for the season, whether it be compound or crossbow. You guys are brave, recurve. But yeah, just because of population density, we don't have the options in Southern Ontario. Somewhere up like Timmins, you can get into rifles and shoot a bigger game. So yeah, like I said, I'm not sure how often I'll be posting, but I will show you whatever I can, whatever I know, as it presents itself. Thanks for watching. Tune in.